a WWE Monday Night Raw review. I will upload this as one video and I might upload them separately. The show does start with Adam Pearce. Then Shane McMahon comes out. Both Adam Pearce and Shane are in the ring. Shane says it's great to be in the Thunderdome. He is going to make a blockbuster announcement. Drew McIntyre will defend in the Elimination Chamber. Drew is competing. All other opponents will be former champions: Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, The Miz, Sheamus. Shane says you put together an amazing card. AJ Styles comes out with Omos. AJ Styles says 1 second with your time. AJ says you have a good idea. He wants to get it straight. Drew has to defend in the Elimination Chamber. Perfect time. Road to WrestleMania. He can be a 3-time WWE champ. He wants to whisper. He thought of him as 2 words. He told Adam Page he will give a snippet of what will happen in the Elimination Chamber, and he asks Adam Pearce to leave. Then it goes into the first match with Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. Before the match starts, Shane is in the back with Drew. They do have an exchange of words. I'm just going to briefly talk about the segment. Drew wanted a heads up. He tells Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon tells Drew good luck. This is part 1. Look out for part 2. This is all about pro wrestling with part 2. Then it's Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles is with Omos in the ring, and they both stand in the ring after the match is over. Then they show Matt Riddle and Keithley will wrestle on the show. They show the match last week with Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle. Then after the commercial break, after the commercial finishes, then it goes to a segment with Keithley and Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle says he watched Air Bud. Keith asks, are you sure you want to keep pursuing the U.S. title? He says he wants to win the title. Keith says, try something new. Keith says he has what it takes to beat you tonight. Matt says, good luck to Keith. They did say some more words in the segment. Just going to briefly talk about the segment. You can check that out on the WWE YouTube channel or wherever you can watch it. Then it goes into a match with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day versus Retribution. Before the match starts, Xavier and Kofi Kingston go to the turnbuckle and play the instruments and clap, and then it goes to commercial. This is the end of part 2. Look out for part 3. With part 3 of the WWE Raw review, it is the New Day versus Retribution. Before the match starts, Sheamus and Adam Pearce are in the back. Sheamus says, this is your great idea with your suits. He has broken promises. He wants respect. He is a shiny new toy. Drew would be nothing without me. He will unleash brutality on every superstar. This is your responsibility. Just going to briefly talk about the segment. There was more to the segment. You can check that out on the WWE YouTube channel or wherever you can watch it. I'll give that segment about 4 stars. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Then it goes into the match. Before the match starts, T-Bar and Slapjack are announced, and Mustafa Ali come out with them. Slapjack runs into the monitor before he enters the ring. T-Bar and Slapjack versus Kofi Kingston and New Day. Xavier runs into the monitor and do a new tag move. That's what he says when he runs into the monitor. So the match is going on. The New Day do win the match. I'll give the match about 3 stars. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Then it goes in to a segment with Ric Flair. Ric Flair comes out. Then Lacey Evans. Music hits. Ric Flair says Lacey will be the Raw Women's Champion. Lacey treats Ric Flair like a legend. She says Ric Flair is the greatest entertainer of all time. This is the end of part 3. Look out for part 4. It's all about pro wrestling with the continuation of the Ric Flair segment. This is part 4. Charlotte comes out. Charlotte says, shut your mouth. Charlotte says, what do you need me to do? She says she never said She didn't need Ric Flair's help. She says you're surrounded by yes people. Lacey says she doesn't want to take her place. She doesn't want to be enemies. Lacey says, Ric Flair says you guys can be a tag. Charlotte says she can do it on her own. For you, Charlotte 2.0, I have a tag team partner, Asuka. That's what Charlotte Flair says. Lacey says her sights are on the Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair says, let's go now to Lacey. Lacey says she accepts the match, you nasty. Then it goes to commercial. When the commercial break ends, Miz and John Morrison and Angel Garza are in the back. Miz and John Morrison say, you don't have to worry about anything. And they talk a little bit, and then it goes into the match with Lacey Evans versus Charlotte Flair. Going to talk a little bit about the match. Charlotte works on the arm, roll up from Charlotte. Charlotte kicks Lacey. Charlotte gets hung up on the rope. Elbow drop from the rope from Lacey. Clothesline from Charlotte Flair. Charlotte tries to grab Lacey. This is the end of part 4. Look out for part 5. This is all about pro wrestling with part 5. Lacey is working with Charlotte in this match. Charlotte is working on Lacey. Lacey pulls Charlotte's hair. T-bone suplex from Charlotte Flair. Charlotte looks at Ric Flair. Charlotte goes face first in the apron. Then it goes to commercial. Lacey and Rick and Charlotte Flair are outside the ring. Lacey puts her feet on Charlotte's face. Charlotte tries to get up. Kicks from Charlotte. Knees from Lacey on Charlotte's arm. Elbow from Charlotte. Pin from Lacey Evans. Neck breaker from Lacey. Lacey goes to the top turnbuckle. Chops from Charlotte. Ref checks Lacey. Big boot from Charlotte. Charlotte goes for the cover. Lacey goes for the outside. Charlotte goes outside. Lacey pulls Charlotte's hair. Pin from Lacey. Charlotte kicks out. Lacey looked like she was going for the figure 4. Charlotte spears Lacey. Charlotte says, watch this. DQ. Lacey wins. Give that match about 3 stars. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Then they show Edge is going to give an update on his decision on which champion he will choose for WrestleMania 37. That's next. This is the end of part 5. Look out for part 6. This is all about pro wrestling with part 6 of the WWE Raw review. Edge comes, points at the crowd, comes in the ring. This is a really good segment with Edge. The crowd is cheering. Last week was a hell of a long week. That's what Edge says. He has a massive decision to make. It may seem simple on the surface. He needs to finish his business with Randy Orton. He came face to face with all 3 champions. Drew has to compete against 5 former WWE champions. He knows a few things. He knows the Elimination Chamber is the most brutal matches in the WWE. He likes his odds against every one of them. He doesn't like Drew's odds in the championship match. He is going to wait for the dust to settle and then make his decision who he will wrestle. The Miz then comes out. The Miz says, what a great speech. Awesome. He says, you are the ultimate opportunist. The Miz says, let's strategize. The Miz says he will be the winner and will be the main event at WrestleMania. He will cash in. He will leave WrestleMania as champ. Edge says, you know who you are talking to. He says, you reminded me. You need to worry about Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. Edge says your content with being awesome. Edge says he needs to be champ, drops the mic, and leaves. This is the end of this part. Look out for the next part. This is all about pro wrestling with the next part to the WWE Raw review. I give that segment about 3.5 stars. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Was a pretty good segment. Then The Miz and John Morrison and Angel Garza are in the ring. Bad Bunny comes to the ring. Then Damian Priest comes out next. Damian Priest versus Angel Garza. The Miz and John Morrison have to leave during the match. Damian Priest does win. I'll give it 3 stars. Then it goes into a segment with Drew McIntyre. Was an okay segment. I thought it could have been a little bit better. His reaction is simple. He says, expect the unexpected. Why sever a 20-year friendship? He focuses on Randy Orton. Tonight, Edge hasn't chosen his opponent. He dares you come at him, he will rip your face off. I thought it could have been a little bit better. I'll give it 3 stars. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Then it goes into the match with Matt Riddle versus Keithley. Before the match starts, there is a Bianca Belair segment. She says, first of all, this weekend is wild. She is the EST of the WWE. This is her time. This is the end of this part. Look out for the next part. This is all about pro wrestling with the next part to the WWE Raw review. Continuing the Bianca Belair segment. She says, first of all, this weekend is wild. She is the EST of the WWE. This is her time. It might be Sasha Banks. It might be Lacey Evans. You will be a fool to underestimate Asuka. Asuka comes out and says, you're not ready for Asuka. Bianca says, you handle your business at Elimination Chamber. Just going to briefly talk about the segment. There was a little more to the segment. I'll give it 3 stars. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Then it goes into the match with Matt Riddle versus Keithley. MVP is at the announce table. Keithley does win. This is the best part of the show. Bobby Lashley attacks everyone. He throws Keith into the post, hits him with the steps. Bobby Lashley stands on the announce table with the United States title. Bobby is at the entrance. Bobby needs more mic time. Just a couple things I would like to say. He does need more mic time. He is great on the mic. And a WWE title run or a Universal title run, I think it's time for him to get one of those belts. So we'll see if he drops the title at the next pay-per-view or if he drops the title at the next Monday Night Raw. I do think it's time for him to get one of those belts. This is the end of this part. Look out for the next part. Final parts of the WWE Raw review. I thought it could have been a little bit better if he did have some words to say before the attack or during or after the attack. Then it goes into a segment with Randy Orton. He does say unfinished business. That's what stands between us at Elimination Chamber. He will take it back. He will get what he wants. The title means everything to him. RKO anyone. These actions end in unfinished business. Destiny will come calling once again. He will walk into WrestleMania WWE Champion. Thought the segment could have been a little bit better. I give it 3 stars. Then it goes into a match with Nia Jax versus Lana. Lana does win. I'll give that match about 2.5 stars. Thought it could have been a little bit better. Then it goes into a match with Naomi and Shayna Baszler. Naomi does win. I'll give that about 2.5 stars. Was a short match. I thought it could have been a little bit better. Then it goes into the final match with Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Thought it was an okay match. It could have been a little bit better. I'll give it 3 stars. Drew McIntyre does win by DQ. All in all, I give this show about 3 to 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. Thought it could have been a little bit better. Hopefully next week we can see Bobby Lashley with more mic time. That'll be good. So I am interested in seeing what's going to happen on the next Monday Night Raw. If you have any questions, any comments, any ideas, leave it in the comment section. Send an email. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you like the video, hit the notification bell. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button. I will be doing a SmackDown review. Look out for that. I will have that uploaded after SmackDown concludes. Look out for that. I will be doing another Monday Night Raw review after Monday Night Raw concludes. Thank you for my subscribers. Thank you for those who are new coming in to listen. Like to add one more thing. I think it is time for them to have a crowd for Monday Night Raw and for SmackDown. They are doing it for WWE NXT. So I do think it is good for them to have at least a limited crowd now. Thank you again. See you next time.